I'm gonna show how to fletch with an Arizona Archery fletching jig. This is the Fletch III, and it's a very inexpensive fletching jig. It's made out of plastic. It's super lightweight. You could take this into the field, and it weighs hardly anything. There's a few things that I do that make it a little bit easier to use because it is so lightweight, and it's very inexpensive. It's like, I don't know, $20, something like that. So before I set up, I've obviously gone in and cut off my bad fletchings, and I've scrubbed this down. I use baking soda and alcohol after I've scraped it. Then I make sure I don't touch it. No oil gets on the shaft. Okay, but here's a few little tips that help make this rig a little easier to use. Now the first thing you're going to need to know is what type of arrow or what the thickness of arrow that you're going to use. And the way that this fletching jig works is that there's this piece right here, and this is interchangeable, or actually you can reverse it depending on the arrow shaft that you're using. It will fit .240 to 370, but you know, you can tell by placing the arrow in the jig and then put the clamp in, and then take a look at your arrow. If everything is lining up and it looks that it's going to make a good contact with the shaft, then you know you've got the right size. I've marked the size that I'm using. I'm using some gold tip Hunter 55-75 shafts, and also this little step or brace tends to fall off a lot. So what I do is I use these glue dots, these removable glue dots. Okay, and so what I do is I take one of these glue dots and I just take that off. These glue dots, it's like the adhesive that you get on the back of your credit cards. So what I'll do is I'll just take a glue dot and put that onto the end of this jig, and then I'll just put that in there like that, and that keeps this from falling off while I'm working. And then if I ever want to use another size arrow, then it's easy just to remove and put it back on. Another thing that I do is these posts that go into the jig can be kind of hard to slide in and slide out. So I use a little bit of oil. You can use WD-40. I'm just using a little bit of CLP, and I just put a little bit on each one of these posts, and then that slides in and out much better. Another thing that you want to do is, before you start, is on this clamp there's a little scale here, And you can take and measure where your other fletchings are starting, and you can mark on the scale where you want your fletching to start and go onto the shaft. Now this fletching jig automatically fletches at a 1 degree offset, so this will put some spin into your arrow when you shoot it. Okay, so I'm going to put in my first fletching. And it's going to be my down fletching. So I'm going to load this into the jig. This is spring loaded, so I'll put this in here and line this up. Okay, so now it's this all lined up in the jig, and there's a little plastic insert with grooves that match the grooves over here. Insert the arrow, and then line that up. Put your glue on the fletching. Into the clamp. Then hold that down for about a minute. So I'm just holding a fairly steady pressure on the arrow shaft. Okay. Release. Okay. Pull this out. Turn it around. You can kind of smear the excess a little bit. Blend that in. In again. This time I'll use my orange fletchings. Back in the clamp. Line it up with my mark. Apply glue. into the clamp. Hold it down. So this is pretty straightforward. There are just a few things that make it a little bit easier, these little tips. Putting that little dot of removable glue so that the end bracket doesn't fall off. Hold it down, make good contact. Okay. Spin it around to the next one. Just do a little, just kind of smear that a little bit. The excess glue. Put in the next one. Just a little bit of glue, try to not too much. Hold it down. Yeah, so for the money and how lightweight it is and easy to carry, it's not a bad little jig. And it does give you that 1 degree of cant. And there we go. And that is the Arizona Archery Fletch III fletching jig. Okay, so I hope this helps some people out if they're thinking about getting this jig. I know that there are better ones, but I got this one because it was relatively inexpensive and very lightweight.